This video will begin by explaining why bridges are necessary, touch upon the hurdles that come with bridging, and then finish off with what SiSu Network brings to the game, or as we will show, redefine it completely. To make the bridge theme more relatable, let us begin with a simple real-life example and assume you are traveling from the US to Japan for a long-awaited vacation.
Flying. Still flying. Almost there.
Upon arrival, you head to a bank or foreign exchange booth, stand in line for a couple of minutes, and then finally, after filling out some paperwork, you exchange your US dollars for Japanese yen. For this service you are charged a commission, which is typically a percentage of the total transaction. Your total expenses are the fees incurred, and your valuable time as well as efforts expended. In Japan, the official language is Japanese, which has unfortunately absolutely nothing in common with English. So your perfect English does you little good in everyday communication with locals or finding your way around based on local signage. Now, in a cryptocurrency context, the above example translates roughly to the following. USA and Japan equals two blockchains with different native currencies. US dollar and Japanese yen equals the native cryptocurrencies of the respective blockchains. Japanese and English equals respective programming languages of a blockchain. Bank or foreign exchange booth equals bridge protocol sitting on top of blockchains that accept the native currencies of one blockchain in exchange for another's. Bank commission equals transaction costs such as platform and gas fees. Blockchain assets and programming languages, just like national currencies and official languages, are often not compatible with one another. They lack interoperability and can often only be used on the respective native blockchain or country. As far as the lacking interoperability problem of blockchain assets, bridges solve this by creating synthetic derivatives representing a native asset from one blockchain that can be used in another blockchain.
As can be inferred from all this, the blockchain world is fragmented and siloed. This has resulted in many of the issues that bridges in general and SiSu in particular are targeting. This begins with the programming languages. A blockchain, and applications built on it, that are programmed in, for example, Solidity language and designed only for use on, let's say, the Ethereum blockchain, are not able to seamlessly communicate with other blockchains and applications programmed in, let's say Haskell, and also only designed for use on the Cardano blockchain. This single-use utility then extends into that blockchain's native currency that are as well also designed only for use on that specific blockchain and consequently cannot be transacted with on other blockchains. This renders them effectively trapped in that blockchain. For the user of a specific blockchain who wants to use the products hosted by an incompatible blockchain, the current workaround, if you like, solution, is for this user to transfer their assets via a bridge to the target blockchain. This solution, however, is not as straightforward as it might sound, but is rather riddled with hurdles and risks. As we just saw, what bridges do is to export crypto assets from one blockchain to a target chain. The task of moving any assets across chains comes with risks which every user needs to assess and fully understand before exposing his assets to them. Examples of risks and hurdles associated to interacting with bridges include security risks. These could be from bugs and vulnerabilities in the smart contracts which expose user assets to a number of hacker exploits and ultimately loss of funds. It must be mentioned here that bridge attacks constitute some of the largest cryptocurrency hacks by value. Censorship risks. Bridge operators can theoretically, for whatever reasons, decline a user using their bridge. Custodial risks. Bridge operators can at any time hypothetically steal user assets as they have complete authority over them. High transaction costs and efficiency issues. Transfers from some chains demand very high platform and gas fees. Bridging, especially for the occasional user, can be time-consuming as the user first needs to identify the appropriate bridge, understand the specific requirements before initiating the at times very technical bridging transaction. Many a user has lost their funds during this process. On top of that, bridging transactions can sometimes take anywhere from a few minutes to days to execute.
On a similar note, a project developer coding applications, for example, on Ethereum using Solidity language will need to adapt or wholly rewrite his code for that application to be able to deploy on Cardano that uses Haskell. Enter SiSu Network, whose motto it is, to unify the fragmented blockchain world. SiSu Network aims to solve these problems by allowing for a trustless, seamless native and non-native token as well as NFT swapping across different blockchains, allowing developers to deploy one contract that can interact with other cross-chain contracts, leveraging distributed key signing algorithms to secure cross-chain transactions and decentralization. The benefits for blockchain users and project developers can be potentially immense. Benefits for blockchain users will include, among others, easier assets transfers, fewer resources needed, example, wallets, time, transaction fees, etc. 100% trustless as no custodian or intermediary is required. Safer decentralized transactions with less verification and registration processes. Optional privacy and security features for shielded transactions. On the other hand, the benefits for project developers will include, among others, broader cross-chain reach for their products that will require less maintenance and update efforts. This is due to the fact that developers would need to host and maintain only one application rather than multiple. Less training efforts. This is due to the fact that developers would not need to learn multiple programming languages or require multiple teams each specializing in one language or blockchain, as is the case in today's fragmented blockchain world. All in all, SiSu is creating a win-win proposition for blockchain users as well as blockchain's ecosystems and the project developers who are the secret sauce to attracting blockchain users and making the blockchains viable. As you can tell, SiSu's technology has the potential to move the needle in the ongoing challenge of fast-tracking blockchain's mass adoption. That concludes this introduction to SiSu Network.
SiSu is diligently executing on its roadmap and regularly updates its community and investors in weekly AMAs as well as a newsletter. Visit their homepage for more information as well as to subscribe for the newsletter. To keep up to date not only on the project development but on daily community activities, also visit and follow them on Twitter.